The following program is the work of the broadcast students at the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT Magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Coming up on BCIT Magazine, are jerry cans full of gas safe to carry in your car?
A small community is worried about summer wildfires.
And two BCIT students cha-cha their way to a global competition. Welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Ssemanda.
And I'm Matt Pereira. Many Canadians are heading over the U.S. border to fill up not only their tanks, but multiple jerry cans. Our reporter Anmol Ajla headed down a plane to see how safe it really is.
For many Lower Mainlanders heading to the States to get gas, they're not only filling up their tanks, they're filling up their jerry cans.
It's just for cost efficiency right now, right? As in Canada, how the prices are going up so high.
On May 2nd, two cars collided just north of the Canadian border. The two vehicles erupted in flames, with clouds of black smoke drifting off into the air. Police are investigating whether or not jerry cans filled with gas were involved.
Unfortunately, the driver of the van died at the scene.
According to Transport Canada, it's not illegal to fill up the cans. However, there are multiple restrictions. Under the rules for transportation of dangerous goods, gasoline can be carried in one or more small containers. 150 liters is the allowable limit. However, the gas must be distributed between 6 different cans of 25 liters each. Failure to disclose could lead to a fine of up to $1,000. Many Canadians feel the rules to travel with jerry cans should be tightened.
Well, I think there should be a limit, something that's less dangerous, but I'm not sure how much. I'm just certain that you can't be driving a fuel truck,
Oh, probably. I imagine it's probably considered to be traveling with hazardous materials, right? How does it go? Transporting hazardous goods?
Right now, there are no changes in sight, but drivers are being warned to stock up at their own risk. Anmol Ajla in Blaine for BCIT Magazine.
So Anmol, what is considered illegal transportation of gasoline?
Well, if you carry more than 25 liters within one can, that would be considered illegal. You must also declare the cans when returning back from the States.
And have there been any updates on last Thursday's accident?
Police are still investigating the cause of the fire, but the driver of the Porsche has been released. The victim of the crash has been identified as Pastor Tom Chung from Port Moody. Back to you.
Thanks, Anmol. The City of Vancouver is trying to ease the tax burden on small businesses to help them survive. Reporter Griff McDonald spoke to one business owner who says the change isn't enough.
Brian Wiener is the owner of Tuesday's Fine Dry Cleaning. For over 30 years, he's seen property values continue to rise in Vancouver, and small businesses like his feel the strain. In his view, taxation policy needs to change drastically if the city wants these businesses to stick around.
Until the province, which controls the tax assessments, gets together with the city and really wants to change things, I don't think anything will help.
A decision by Vancouver Council will see 2% of property taxes shifted from businesses to homeowners. While the shift will slightly increase residents' taxes, the city says the benefit to local business outweighs the increased burden on homeowners.
They have seen no action for 7 years, and they've been very vocal to let us know that they need some indication that the city values them, and we want them to stick around. They pay 4.5 times the property tax proportionate to than residential property taxes.
But Wiener is skeptical the shift will make any real difference. Tuesday's Dry Cleaning occupies just one story, but their property tax is based on a best use formula, which, in this city block, treats the business like a 5-story apartment complex. Wiener says this is the real problem that threatens the sustainability of small business in Vancouver.
If the city or province, doesn't change the best use we will not have a single character building left in Vancouver, single-story character building. Every single building will be torn down and a 5-story apartment building will be put up.
The tax shift will roll out over the next 3 years, beginning this month. I'm Griff McDonald in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
BC is experiencing an earlier than normal forest fire season. As Mercedes Lay reports, a small rural community is concerned about the prospect of a long, dry summer.
So as you can see, there's lots of forest behind us here.
Anmore resident Lauren Phillips is concerned about the increase of wildfires that are human-caused.
People not being careful that start these fires. So I guess people just need to be extra cautious because it's getting, it's hot and it's only, May?
Anmore is a small community near Port Moody. The Sassamat Volunteer Fire Department is responsible for 3,000 residents. They are gearing up for this year's dry summer.
Signs that are out front of, or on the entrances to the villages that have the fire ratings on them, which just moved yesterday up to medium. For early part of May, that's not a good thing.
Anderson says Anmore is more at risk for a wildfire due to all the evergreen trees. This type of tree allows a fire to spread faster. Anderson is worried for what the damage could be if a major wildfire were to occur.
This community, there's sort of one way in, one way out. So if there were to be a major event, we would have a difficult time egressing the entire community out of here.
Residents like Phillips will continue to brace for the months ahead, hoping her beautiful neighborhood does not go up in smoke. I'm Mercedes Lay in Anmore for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up after the break, how to eat on a budget at BCIT.
And how new tipping rules are affecting servers.
The most rewarding thing for me has been the relationships I developed in the program, both with instructors and classmates.
My sense of confidence has never been higher. I mean, this program's offered great opportunities to be in real world, real industry situations, and being in those moments and knowing I can contribute, I can do this.
It's exciting to be in this industry and to meet lots of great people and to make amazing friends.
BCIT Broadcast and Online Journalism, realizing your potential.
A defining moment for me was when I finished my first internship and got lots of really great feedback from industry professionals.
I would have never imagined I'd be walking into the floors of TSN and thinking, I'm not a student anymore, I'm here to work.
I will be starting a job with an investigative news program in Toronto, and I'm really excited to see that grow into what will become, hopefully, my dream job.
BCIT Broadcast and Online Journalism, putting you to work.
Welcome back. There's lots going on at BCIT this week. We begin with a story about students who are looking for ways to save money. As Cole Sorensen reports, this can be as easy as deciding where to buy a snack.
Most students at BCIT choose to eat at locations run by Chartwells. The company is in charge of chain restaurants on campus, such as Tim Hortons. But there are cheaper options. The Student Association runs the stand stores, such as this one at SE12. I went to the cafe behind me run by Chartwells and purchased this bottle of Pure Leaf iced tea for $3.40. I then went across the way to the SA-run stand and bought the same bottle of iced tea for $3, 40 cents less than the Chartwells location. The Student Association is a nonprofit, and that has a profound effect on how the stand's prices are set.
We're not here to make money. And that's something I want to emphasize. The Student Association, we are a nonprofit. So legally, we actually cannot make a profit.
With such a wide array of options, students and instructors often have their own preferences.
Honestly, I just go to the stand because The campus food is a bit expensive and pricey.
I usually go to the sushi place and get the poke bowls.
With student budgets being what they are, most agree the opportunity to save a few cents is always welcome. I'm Cole Sorensen on campus for BCIT Magazine.
Our reporter Cole Sorensen joins us now live. So Cole, why does the Student Association operate the stand stores if they're not out to make a profit?
Well, Caroline, the Student Association operates the stand stores to help pay their staff and cover their running expenses throughout the year.
And how does Chartwell's decide on its prices?
Unfortunately, we didn't get a comment back from Chartwell's before this story aired, but it is up to students to decide where they want to spend their money. Back to you.
Thanks, Cole. New proposed legislation wants to stop bar and restaurant management from taking a cut of their servers' tips. As Hannah Lalonde found out, some servers say this just doesn't make sense.
Vancouver's bustling restaurant scene will be seeing new changes to how tips are distributed. The BC Restaurant Association thinks these changes are warranted.
What this says quite clearly is if you don't serve a table, then you're not eligible for a tip.
This is the Habitat Pub, where BCIT students go to eat, drink, and laugh away their school stress. Rebecca Fleming is a longtime server at the pub. She considers this law pointless.
You work for a nefarious enterprise, they're going to still be nefarious. They'll just find funnier ways where they'll just write you off the schedule or whatnot. So it's really nice that the government did this, but it's not going to make a difference.
However, the Restaurant Association does not agree.
Let's make sure the benefit stays with the employees that are actually doing the service work and earning the tips, and make a strong differentiation between them and the management and ownership of the company.
It doesn't affect us because they're all pretty straight and narrow here. We run under the Student Association, so we're a nonprofit, so we're very much by the book.
New legislation comes into effect June 1st, but no matter how tips are shared, customers will keep on coming. I'm Hannah Lalonde in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
It's Mental Health Week, and students facing finals are feeling the crunch. Reporter Parvi Sharma went out to see what BCIT is doing to encourage positive mental health.
Bashing a ping pong ball around may have more mental health benefits than it seems. Here at BCIT, mental health is not a new topic. The weight of students' heavy course loads stays on their shoulders.
Students have several unique conditions in their lives which make them particularly vulnerable to stress and mental health issues. So some of those conditions are things like being involved in incredibly demanding academic programs. So we know that some of the stresses from meeting their academic deadlines can be very, very overwhelming.
Students often don't realize how large a role physical activity can play on their mental health. Research proves that physical activity can have a demonstrative effect on your mood and can help you deal with stress. BCIT Recreation Center as well as BCIT Student Association do offer students a variety of different ways of dealing with their mental health. This includes things like counseling services, health services, and plenty of clubs that they're able to join. However, some students do think that this still might not be enough.
It's very, very heavy, the load. And they're like, I'm not quite sure if I can do this or not, so like.
I mean, people get worked so hard around here that I think it's just pretty important for everyone to kind of get out.
Mental health is really a behavior, it's a habit. So I think that in order to be our best selves and to support those around us, we really need to be aware and in tune to our own bodies and minds.
With little more than a week left, this time of the year is perhaps the most stressful. Knowing the signs of mental distress sure comes in handy. This is Parvi Sharma in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
What does a BCIT business student have in common with a nursing student? Ballroom dancing. They're both in Portland today, taking part in a competition. Nikita Nyack has the story.
This is Cindy Liang and Lester Gigazman at the BCIT Recreation Center. They have partnered together for a ballroom dancing competition in Portland.
Yeah, we actually have competed against each other this whole time.
Yes.
But then since last August, we started dancing together, and you know, he's just the greatest partner.
I feel that I'm a different person having these costumes and all the makeup. It actually brings out my artistic side.
Dancing is not just their passion, but also a release from their daily life.
Without ballroom dancing, I would be a very stressed out person. Even though, you know, ballroom dancing is an added activity to my life, and you know, time management takes a lot of work, I feel that without it, I have no expression of myself.
Liang is a second-year nursing student who juggles 8 courses at BCIT, and she takes out time for dancing to de-stress.
We always tell students, find an outlet to your stress. Anything that makes you feel good, that you're able to function well, do that and go for it. And I think she found her calling.
Guzman is a first-year marketing student, and he says that ballroom dancing has given him confidence to present in his classes.
For my communications class, I have to be presentable, I have to wear the right clothes, and I have to be confident. I think that's also another thing that we learned from this activity.
Both Liang and Guzman have been preparing for this competition for months. They are not just in it to win it.
For me, it's more as a coach for them to grow, to build up and to overcome their own challenges.
At Portland, they hope to gain a ranking as a couple to set them up for future competitions. I'm Nikita Nayak in Burnaby for BCIT Magazine.
BCIT's School of Energy is hosting the Engineering Expo in SE2 this afternoon from 2 till 4. The expo will feature BCIT's engineering and robotics programs. Coming up, what the month of Ramadan means to Muslims in BC.
And a wildlife specialist looks for more humane ways to get rid of rats.
Going live in 3, 2, 1. BCIT Television and Video Production. You've got potential.
I'm Secret Agent Rebecca Lawrence.
And I'm Secret Agent Mohak Sood.
We've been spying around town to find you the coolest Mother's Day plans this Sunday.
Operation Cool Mother's Day is a go!
Doesn't take a spy to know that moms are the greatest of all time. So go do some goat yoga at Man Farms. It starts at 10 a.m. So hang out with some baby goats and get a box of free berries.
After you've completed your morning yoga, sneak on over to the Painted Loft for Mother's Day painting and mimosas. Get creative on canvas while having a few drinks. Snacks and supplies are provided.
After some afternoon mimosas, go undercover as a cast member from Mamma Mia at the Mother's Day sing-along.
Mamma Mia, here we go again.
Jam out to your favorite tunes from Mamma Mia in a group setting. It's at 5 p.m. at the Vic Theater.
That was your Mother's Day community calendar. Our mission is now complete.
Welcome back. Muslims across the world are fasting for Ramadan, and BC is home to over 70,000 Muslims. As Azaya Khan reports, Ramadan is more than just giving up food for a month.
Masjid al-Haq is one of the first mosques in Vancouver. Worshippers have been coming here since 1965. The month of Ramadan is 30 days of fasting. For Muslims, it's a sacrifice to feed their souls instead of their bodies.
When we talk about sacrifice, it is not just about forsaking food and drink. It is also about forsaking every single act that is detrimental to our self and soul and to our spirituality.
The sacrifice of food and water is only the start. The real goal in mind for Muslims in this month is the spiritual one.
I am trying to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He commanded us to fast. It's farz. It's one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and all the Muslims should follow this, and not should, have to follow this, because this is the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we believe in that.
The fast covers all of lifestyle, including work and socializing, all to establish a relationship with God. Isaiah Khan in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Vancouver was recently voted the most rat-infested city in the world by pest control officials. As Lori Trischler reports, not everyone in the industry thinks that's a problem.
Joe Abercrombie loves his rats, Bubba and Gump, no matter what his friends say.
Most of them don't like the idea of them, but everyone comes around once they meet them. You see, they don't defecate on you or pee on you. They don't bite. They're pretty friendly. So yeah, most people, they become fans.
Well, not everyone.
Dirty animals.
You don't think they're cute?
I don't think they're cute.
Would you ever keep a rat as a pet?
No. No, probably not.
Why not?
Because I get scared and I scream when I see them.
Yeah, same thing. I don't like rats.
Don't like rats. What is about rats you don't like?
I just don't like rats. I've got a dog and a cat, and just having a rat in the house is just not what I would do.
So not everyone's a rat fan. That's just as well for Abercrombie. He's actually making a killing off rats across the Lower Mainland. But where his competitors rely on slow-acting poisons, Abercrombie's Humane Solutions is looking to change the way we treat the animals we want to dispose of.
They're a smart, sentient being, and there's better ways to do this, and we literally do it instantly. We control them humanely, and it works, and we solve problems, and the whole industry could be operating like that.
Spring is prime rat season, and Abercrombie's off to a job. But he'll be back for cuddles with his furry friends later tonight. I'm Lori Trischler in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Local fishermen are hoping a seal cull will increase salmon populations on BC's coast. But as reporter Kaya Proctor found out, the real impacts of killing seals is up for debate.
That's still nice.
Nicholas Mormon is the 3rd generation to operate Longleiter Seafood's family business on Granville Island. A lot has changed in the industry over the past 40 years, but nothing more than the number of fish available for consumption. They say the biggest threat to salmon populations now are seals.
They reproduce like mad. They're basically like mouse and rats. So their population just kept increasing. And now we see like just thousands over the river.
Seal numbers have boomed to over 100,000, and the Moorheads say drastic measures should be taken.
Well, I think a seal cull is absolutely appropriate. Everything, the food cycle's out of whack, and unfortunately that's a byproduct of human nature, and but we need to even it out.
The federal government still has strict regulations surrounding seal hunting. A Vancouver-based environmental expert explains why.
So nature is complex. It's easier to put a man on the moon than it is to manage some of these populations. And so if there is to be a seal harvest, it needs to be done in a discrete area where you can track it carefully, collect a lot of data, and incrementally sort of move into it to decide, is there any unintended consequence?
The Moorheads don't savor the idea of hunting seals, but for them and other BC fishermen, it's simply a matter of us or them.
We don't want to overhunt the damn things. All we want to do is just call them out, make sure they're a healthy population back where we used to be, and so we can survive and they can survive. That's kind of the idea.
Fisheries and Oceans Canada has received a proposal to make commercial hunting of seals and sea lions legal, but it is still under consideration. Kaya Proctor in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Abbotsford has a new professional basketball team, the Fraser Valley Bandits. As part of the new Canadian Elite Basketball League, they are hoping to make an impact in the community. My co-anchor, Caroline Ssemanda, caught up with the team earlier this week.
The Fraser Valley Bandits players Otas and Anton have been heating up the courts in Abbotsford.
I'm a rookie. I just finished university basketball, so playing at a level like this for me is tremendous.
From the other side of the border, Anton knows there's room for development.
Back home, there's so many different avenues and opportunities and things like that. And just being in the community for a couple of days and seeing the support we have, I think it could do a lot in pushing it in the right direction.
But Abbotsford sports writer Ben Lipka isn't quite sure how the league will pan out.
Are people really going to be willing to drive all the way to Abbotsford on the highway in the summer on a nice evening just to watch players they may not be super familiar with? And I think that's kind of one of the big issues that they might be facing.
The Abbotsford community has not had a pro team since the Abbotsford Heat hockey team in 2014. Now with the resurgence of pro basketball, especially since the departure of the Vancouver Grizzlies, the Abbotsford community is more than ready to welcome the Fraser Valley Bandits with open arms.
Oh yes, I can't wait. My son and I are both going. He goes to Eugene Reimer and we both bought tickets because they're only $16 for us to go.
I have heard about them and they seem pretty cool, so I'll probably be going.
I would assume that if you have another professional sports team, it's just great to have another opportunity to gather as a community.
Otas, Anton, and the team are ready to deliver a fan-driven experience for Abbotsford.
Come support us. You know, we're going to be working hard. We're going to be getting better every day. We're going to be training hard.
Caroline Ssemanda in Abbotsford for BCIT Magazine.
Game 5 of the WHL Finals between the Vancouver Giants and the Prince Albert Raiders takes place tonight. The Giants are currently down 3-1 and are hoping for a win at the Langley Event Center.
The Western Conference Finals of the NHL playoffs get underway tomorrow at 5 p.m. The San Jose Sharks and St. Louis Blues are both coming off long 7-game series, and both teams head to San Jose with little rest in between. If you have any questions regarding the show, you can contact us at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitnews.com.
That was BCIT Magazine for this week. I'm Caroline Ssemanda, and for those celebrating, Ramadan Kareem.
And I'm Matt Pereira. Thanks for watching, and happy Mother's Day.